Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. I'm Sean. This is Ryan.
Hello.
You know us, and Dan is here also.
Uh,
Oh, he
yes, I
can't
am. I
speak.
am here.
He
Oh
can't
God, I
speak.
can't say it too loudly.
You've got a baby currently in your arms, haven't you? You said in your hands in the bit before this
Oh
when we
yes,
were setting up.
I
That
meant in
makes
my
it sound
arms.
worse.
I meant in my arms. I'll turn on my camera
So
for 2 seconds. That's me.
So that makes it worse.
it
That
looks
makes
like
it
a horror
worse.
movie.
Yeah,
It's quite.
Just the teeth.
It's Jordan Peele's new horror
just the
movie.
teeth. At least teeth are white, mine are yellow. So there you go.
Dan will be off camera and
And
will
speaking of
be.
yellow teeth, we've got Bradley in the chat as well.
Wow.
So what we're
King
doing
Slicker
today,
still.
this is our set that we sort of all know a little bit about what we're doing today, but not the whole thing. So we know we're doing a session 0 today for our next game, which is going to start next Monday. Hopefully earlier than this, hopefully at our normal time of 8 o'clock. But we know very little. We know it's going to be set in Avernus, right? It's the Bradley's running the Descent into Avernus campaign for D&D 5e. We know that. Oh, by the way, I found out just before we came on that the Descent into Avernus game actually is a prequel to the video game Baldur's Gate 3, which will be upcoming, which is pretty exciting. I mean, it's in early access on Steam, but it's going to come out on consoles and PC at some point. And we're just here to chat about our characters and get a feel for the game. Is that it? Because what's happening is Bradley's away at the moment.
We also were supposed to have Brad with us. We were supposed to have Brad with us, but he is on family duties, and we want to kick this off. So what we've quite ingeniously done, I say ingeniously, we've just asked him to do a bit of recording. But the kind of questions and conversations that we would be having as this, as I say, year zero, well, all the Batman stuff's got to me.
Session
As
0.
a session 0, thank you very much. Yeah. So as normally things we would have in a session 0, instead we're going to listen to Bradley's recording, and then me, Sean, and Dan will discuss kind of what we want to do for our characters and how we feel, and also none of us have heard what Bradley said yet as well. This is a
We
surprise.
listen to it live.
Based on the technical difficulties, we might not hear it either.
Yeah.
Fingers
No, that was the one thing that was tested.
Fingers
Dan.
crossed.
So it's very exciting. So we're just basically just gonna have our session 0 in little weird piecemeal chunks, and I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a bit more emblematic of like, it's like the equivalent of like Instagram filters or pornography or something, where you get like a really fake version of what something's actually like. This is the non-critical.
It's not real.
This is the non-critical role version of what you're getting. This is the lo-fi real world. Everyone's got daytime jobs and we have no helpers around the scenes helping us out.
That's one of the other reasons why we have been offline for so long. Daytime jobs are picking back up again. People are getting busier. We've had some sort of shifts within the normal group of people, but your constants of your three favorite spicy chilies and the one boy that can't eat hot.
Yes.
Also a name for a porno as well.
But he makes a mean paella though, so that's
he
all
does make a mean paella.
Mean seafood paella.
So we wanted to carry on. I think we were discussing, who was available, what we could do, and I think some of the things that we came to is that we all missed rolling dice. I think that was, such an amazing, even though we mostly do it digitally, but still the feeling of rolling dice. I hadn't played D&D in a few months, and we really missed it, and we figured out what we could do. And Brad very kindly sort of stepped up and was interested in running Avernus as Descent into Avernus, which we shall now just call Avernus because I can't remember Jesus full time.
Yeah.
So he came to us with the idea of Avernus, gave us just like the strap line of it, and we're like, okay, well that sounds cool. And if you've listened to all the previous episodes, we've got Arianwell and Blood and Song that we played in before was a homebrew world created by Johnny, in his imagination, and that also meant that there was a lot more lore and pantheon of gods, and everything had to be thought out. And it just meant it put a lot of pressure on Johnny as a DM, because not only did he have to plan for a session, but then he had to plan everything around it, and every time we deviated by a step, it would.
Well, it's like a busman's holiday for a teacher, isn't it? Planning.
Absolutely.
So Johnny's got some
And-
other work on.
And I'm not
You say-
saying that other DMs don't prepare anything, right? You're still preparing from a book, takes time. However, we decided to follow an adventure path because it meant that monsters were already chosen and put in front of us. You know, story arcs, characters, the NPCs didn't have to come up with a whole bunch of names like Glob, Blob, and Dob, and those kind of things.
Yeah, so the backstory of Bradley, I was going to be snarky there and say he's the only one with the free time, but that's not fair.
No.
Because we used to play a Friday game with Bradley actually, Curse of Strahd, which we mentioned sometimes on the stream,
Which we still
And
haven't
Bradley-
finished.
which we still haven't finished, but we're right at the point where we're sort of edging our way towards Strahd.
That's
So
right. Edgy
you know,
Strahd.
we
I'm pretty sure that's a porn as well.
Let me Google it.
I like it less that your face isn't there. It's like
And
you're less
saying it's
culpable
a
for the things that you're saying.
hushed tone as well. Yeah.
Maybe that's a porn. Is that helpful?
No, it's not.
It's
It's
not
worse.
good, is it?
It's
Yeah,
worse.
it's worse. It's
I also
worse.
love how it's a picture of Lack, even though we're not using we're not playing Erin well primarily at the
Yeah,
moment.
good point.
But yeah, so Erin Well is on hold while we love those characters. Like
Yeah.
absolutely, all of us love those characters. And Christine also, who played Phaser in Erin Well, was supposed to join with Avernus, but she's just had a whole bunch of work and personal things come in as well. So she's had to take a step back from that. But hopefully we'll get her in and some other people in for some one shots, things like that. So just to circle back, what I was saying about Bradley is that so he was doing that Friday game as Strahd offline. But what he was doing was he was taking the book and then sort of bolting on things from Reddit and other things he found on the internet and lots of exciting things. And he
monsters from Warhammer and stuff like that.
yeah, and there was a lot, sort of very cinematic, I think, and lots of extra scenes, and he really fleshed it out. And we know that Bradley puts a lot of work into it, and we're really excited for Bradley to take that on, but also for us to do something that I dare say is maybe has lower stakes and is a little more fun. Is a little more fun. So I know that people might miss the high stakes of Arian Well, you know, like the characters. Each character we poured our heart and soul into, and Johnny did with the world, of course. I know some people will miss that, but with the lack of high stakes, I think might also come a little bit more freedom to die and create a new character, or to express ourselves in an interesting way, to play with D&D a little bit more. But all game, I mean, as anyone who's watching or listening, you'll have also played many games, you know, or if you haven't, you have all of that to come up with, right? All different game sets and all different rule sets and all different modules and DMs, right? So everything has a different spin. So this one is Bradley has, you know, he loves the rules, but he's also
Loves the rule of cool as well.
Yeah. So there's you know, if Arian Well was Lord of the Rings, then Descent might end up being The Princess Bride or something like that. So, you know, no one is going to tell you that one of those films is better than the other, right? I think they're pretty well. I think they're pretty evenly matched. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So we're really excited about. Well, we are excited now about Bradley DMing, but we're not 100% what will happen when we listen to his session 0 recording.
Yeah, that's true. It might be awful and evil. So you know. Okay, I think it's time. I think it's time. Dan, are you in a position to be able to play it for us? Okay, fair enough. How are we going to get this, by the way? Are you playing it through?
Shall we hang on? Let me get the stream up.
Do you want to open up Twitch and listen to?
We can watch it on the stream, can't we? I knew we were forgetting something.
Oh, we've lost your audio now, Dan. So be careful.
Oh, that's because I muted myself on the stream, so you couldn't hear the little one crying.
Just play it through the stream,
and we'll react to the stream.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I think I can hear.
Yes. So there'll be a slight delay for anyone watching, but we'll be listening to it, watching it, or listening to it via the stream. So enjoy this. Whatever the hell's going to happen.
Good luck.
All right, you maggots. There's cultists on the loose. Our leader, Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard, has gone missing, along with the entire city of El Terrell. Refugees claw at our walls, and the city has gone into lockdown. We cannot risk this happening to us. Cultists are on the loose in the streets, and whether you like it or not, you'll be drafted to hunt them down. They follow the dead three. People in the streets are being murdered and brutalized. I will not have it.
You start in Baldur's Gate, the next city on the chopping block as El Terrell has fallen into the first layer of hell, Avernus. This will hopefully be an adventure of demons, devils, ducking, diving, dodge... No, wait, that's the 5 rules of dodgeball. Anyway, there'll be devious plans and scheming deals. Every devil is out for himself, and most are clever about it too. Demons are more base, incarnations of chaos and evil, and you'll be dealing with both, along with many other colourful characters along the way. Have fun. Now the rules, you all start at level 1. Hey, yeah, I know, bear with it, it's what the book wants. Roll stats, take point by, either's fine. Crits doing the max plus extras, as we've done before. First dice are default maxed, and the second dice are then rolled. Flanking, yes, but it goes for both enemies and yourselves. HP, same as before, rolls, but you can re-roll the 1s and 2s. We're not going to do death saving throws as private. Bonus feats, yes, but it has to make sense, and no lucky. And finally, don't be a dick, but it's okay, because I trust you all, I think. Anyway, sorry I can't be there. Bye.
Thanks, Bradley. All right. Okay. I liked that.
I'm back. What a legend. Thank you, Bradley. That's
I
hilarious.
feel like excellent, Bradley. I loved that. I think that obviously this is why we never heard it before, because there was I reckon he said, "Oh, Dan, do you reckon you could put a little bit of put a bit of music behind it?"
No, I didn't do any of that. That's
No?
All Bradley's production value.
All right.
Production,
Well,
I'm gonna have to say.
I'm excited by this.
Not gonna
Then
take
I
any
apologize,
credit.
Bradley.
That's the right vibe to start with, isn't it? That's what we were saying beforehand. That's good. So so level 1, that's tough.
It felt like you were starting something like Baldur's Gate 3, where it was like you can see it coming over the city, can't you? Like
Yeah,
and then
it was
your
good work.
character and like the burning
It was good work.
thing.
I mean, if we had more than like 4 followers, maybe someone would create like that for us, or maybe we need to get Becky back. Yeah. Yeah. So the idea is that the city of Avernus is sort of not literally, but it's sort of, if you imagine it, dropping into sort of hell dimension, right?
It literally is into the first circle of hell.
Exactly. And we I guess we sort of have to climb out or get out or find our way out, sort of thing. It's a bit of a Dante's Inferno type thing.
So the first voice was, I think, the guard captain, who's basically who is recruiting us, right? But I think it's a bit more like a press ganging rather than a recruiting. I kind of feel like we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice in it.
We're almost prisoners.
What we want to do. And then obviously Bradley explaining after punching his microphone, sort of the game and what we need
I'll
to
punch
do.
him for starting at level 1. That's
okay. We started at level 1 in this game.
I've created a level 6 character that I really like, so I'm gonna have to roll it back, and then they're gonna go, "Are you sure you want to roll it back?" Yeah, I fucking do want to roll it back, all the way back to 1. So yeah, okay. Right, what else? Some of the rules went over my head, so if there's anyone listening who isn't as rule savvy,
we're being conscripted at COVID Gate, and it's all in lockdown. I mean, sorry, we're being conscripted at Baldur's Gate, and the whole place is on lockdown.
Okay, I feel like this is a good post lockdown game.
Well, I mean,
play.
we just did an entire last campaign about a mass virus that's taking people over, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, which I have to say was planned largely before COVID, I think, but that was that's just bad timing. All right, so it says it's a 1 to 13 roughly. I mean, I'm sure it will alter.
That's worth knowing. There's no point in designing a character that's going to go further than level 13.
Well, bear in mind, Strahd is also 1 to 13, and we've obviously done quite a lot with our characters in that.
You don't want any what is it, like a real spellcaster,
like all 20,
right? Like a wizard.
Yeah, all 20 levels, yeah.
Well,
oh wait, is a wizard the other way around? Wizard's good at the start and bad at the end, right?
No, Rangers.
Other way around.
Rangers are good at the start, bad at the end.
Apparently. Right. Okay. we sort of have
And then-
our ideas for who we want to
Well,
play.
the other points he raised,
I think.
it's crunchy crits, which is what we did before.
Uh-huh.
So everything's maxed, and then you roll the damage dice on top of that. Obviously, starting at level 1, which you don't like. Then it was, what was the other thing that you said? I'm just trying to recall off the top of my brainium. Bonus feat, but no lucky, and it has to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
very
Okay.
kind one. Now the question is, do we have a rule ourselves where you can't game that system and pick a variant human and get an extra bonus feat?
No, I suppose because that also has its downsides of variant human,
Mhm.
right? So
You don't get your
you could do
point
that.
bonus as well, do you?
So
Or you
it's
get one.
I assume Bradley's kind of au fait with that. It gives and it takes away, doesn't it? The idea of a variant.
Bradley's on stream now, so you can tell us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. While he's putting that in, so what are our thoughts for? Listen, somebody
it's
cut across
fine.
me
Bradley's
if it's not
the best. Bradley's the best. Do you know what I mean?
Brad doesn't care. In a way, in the
Well,
right
thing is,
sort of
it
ways.
makes first level characters a little bit more robust.
And squishy.
Also, what's great is Brad doesn't really know the sort of characters we're playing. So this is also kind of exciting for him to sort of find out. We've had a little bit of a chat about it, right? But not massively. So just while we've got Dan's face and audio guaranteed for the time being,
For the next 30 seconds, yeah.
yeah. What's what we all thinking about at least?
Well, you've
I've
rolled your characters, haven't you? And I've
I
got...
did, but I have to roll it back.
Yeah,
now,
but you've
haven't
got the idea of what your character wants to be, whereas I've got an idea for a character, but I haven't done the crunch yet.
Right.
So I can change the crunch based on what your ideas are, if that makes sense. So why don't you go first, Sean, since you've got to roll back your character?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what's interesting is I thought I'd created this character already, and I hadn't created it recently, but I went back and found one that has the same, So I sort of, I had created this like about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was looking. I know I want to be an Echo Knight, right? I was like, that's the sort of key for me because I played an Echo Knight
in
when
the one we did, didn't we? Were you in,
Yeah,
in the one we did
the Saltborn.
for Sam. Yeah,
Saltborn.
That was good, and that was good because we had a puzzle, and the Echo Knight was able to sort of duplicate. And then, so if anyone doesn't know the Echo Knight, it's a variant of the fighter that at level 5 you can pick a. It is level 5, isn't it? And you can pick a specialization.
Do that now, aren't you?
No, exactly. And the Echo Knight can basically replicate itself into a sort of shadow version of itself that is physical and can fight. So there's lots of scope for role play, and there's lots of scope for combat. What I really like the idea of is playing like, I don't know, like a peacekeeper. So he's kind of like or this character is kind of like a good cop, bad cop is just what I'm thinking. This with the Echo Knight is too good not to have good cop, bad cop. So I'm going to be some kind of like,
as that's obviously an homage to Just Two Cops from Arian
from
Well.
Arian Well.
Yeah.
So I haven't got a name. I haven't got a. Looking at this, so I created a character a long time ago that called Maurice Lichbane, but I don't think I'm gonna. That's not a cop's name, from like a sort of 70s cop show. I have to think of like a proper name for him.
Like Bruce
Smasher or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be something broad, a little
my
broad.
My friend,
like his TV show. If he had a TV show, it would be called after his last name, right? That's basically what I have to think.
My friend the other day,
Magnum
unfortunately, got COVID, and he called it Coronavirus. But then I heard that as Baroness Silas, and I was like, that's a great name for a character.
Name. That's a great name.
That is a pretty good name.
So Silas is a thinking name that's not used quite a lot.
That's pretty good. Silas is good. It's got that sort of sci-fi fantasy vibe, isn't it? So one of the things I noticed on this character that I built a little while ago is that it's a minotaur, right, or a minotaur. So it's like, I kind of like that. Yeah. So it's got horns, and it's like, for me, a minotaur Echo Knight would be amazing. It's just something I haven't thought of. Like, I obviously thought about it 6 months ago and then forgot. But the idea of playing a minotaur, I'm well into now. Now that I've seen it, I'm like, I've got horns.
I've been told, like, I've seen a few people do play interesting Echo Knights. One of my friends played them where they're playing the Strahd campaign, and their character wasn't with them in the caravan, but when they got to the murder house, there was a person who was hung, and then there was the Echo Knight defending it, and that's how his character got introduced.
Oh,
And
that's
his,
cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good, and there was, and because they thought it was an NPC, and it was actually this other guy, so that was a really cool introduction, to his character. And then his Echo Knight was like always disappointed in him. It was like he was the chivalrous one, and he was like, like, look at you, you have to bring me out to fight for you and stuff like that. So that's quite like one way to do it. And then in the second season of NADPod, they had Hank and Shadow Hank, or Shank as he was called. That was his Echo, and he was like he ended up playing quite a pivotal thing even, but he was like the version of him that loved potato skins and moaned about everything. But then they were just like, because you can just send, because they're ethereal, so once they die you don't take any hit points, so they would just like send him into a corridor to see if there are any traps.
That's
and things
clever.
like that. Yeah, so there's options with
Bradley's
an Echo
informing
Knight.
us that we'll be 4th, 5th level before we even enter hell, which I'm very glad of, because I'm pretty sure first levels would die in hell. Some investigating and 2
Good.
dungeons.
Good. Okay, because it's not like we had many complaints about Ironwell, but one of them was we wanted to be level 50 immediately, please.
Yes,
And it took us
please.
ages.
Mhm.
So if Bradley can make us level 50 immediately, please.
Depends how
Yeah,
well we do, I guess.
So
Yeah, I
what? So
suppose
what are
so.
you thinking about your Peacekeeper Echo Knight sort of?
I don't know. I don't know.
So-
I might find as I go. Hello,
So does he
focus on me.
have a link to this sergeant then,
Yeah,
do you reckon?
That's what I mean. I don't fully know yet. I haven't really thought that through. You've got the Leon Kennedy, the rookie that comes in. You've got the Nicholas Angel, the guy who's like been there, like in his hot cop. I just don't know. All I know is that I want the Echo to be a
Got
different.
the 2 Andys.
The 2 Andys from What Fuzz. I want the Echo Knight to be the right kind of cop for the situation. So like that. So the main guy in the
Oh.
night will be whoever they are, as a sort of almost like a
The
blank
Echo
slate, maybe.
So because I played do you remember I played a character years ago in our D&D
A chamois.
weekends?
Chamois, you need.
Shaman, who manifested all
Yeah,
their
that was
past
cool.
lives to help us out of situations. That was a great character class.
Yeah, it was a great
Class,
character.
man. I'm so annoyed they never brought that into 5.
There's quite a few they didn't bring into 5, and I'm hoping that as time goes by, because they're upgrading 5th now, aren't they? That maybe we'll see some more of those.
Because that was Mike's game, right? And I kept seeing every time he had us stumped, you'd bring out like another sort of part of your past, and it would solve something.
It was very funny.
I could see Mike try and problem solve.
I saw that the psionics class is being play tested at the moment.
Right.
Oh, that's
What are they
big
most
thing.
analogous to? What are they?
A lot of like you get like rogues that
That's right,
use
yeah.
like psionic blades and like
Oh, okay.
and magical mental stuff is psionics,
Mhm.
right? You didn't meet yourself though, Dan.
He's talking to us, of course.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Oh, Dan's talking just to us, so we can.
Ah.
So thankfully, we can hear him talk to his daughter and give lots of little soft reassurances.
So yeah, so the psionic sort of school uses
Uh-huh.
like your psychic abilities, and they're testing a bit more of that as a natural class now, psionics.
So okay, so just before we move on, can somebody tell me this then? I created this character with 5 levels in fighter and 1 level in cleric, and I don't know why.
Because I can tell you exactly why. Because you were like, I want to do more. I want to do more in fighting. I wanted to get the cleric level so that I can use the thingy weapon, so I can use its bonus attacks as well.
Oh, you
So
wanted to
that's-
cast spiritual weapon? Can you cast
Yes.
a first level spell?
I don't.
No,
I
no,
can't
I
remember.
don't
You've
think so.
absolutely balked yourself there, haven't you?
I just don't know
But
why.
it was
I did
like
it.
because
Why create a
that's
sixth-
why you did it, because you were
level
like,
6 character?
because I want to do more in combat. I want to.
No,
I want to
but,
be.
yeah, but I see, but that was with Sixsmith, so I'm not 100% on this
You've
dude.
created another fighter, and I guess
Maybe there's some sort of
who knows
benefit
the working
having
of
an
Sean's
echo.
mind. That's
No,
the
no.
problem, isn't it?
Is the problem. If I don't know, maybe there's a benefit to having just a spell or having something that the Echo
Maybe
Knight
it was
can
them
do.
channel divinity.
Oh, you get
stuff.
identified via touch. That's also not bad.
Hmm.
And I have Searing Smite for some reason. Oh, the next time you hit a creature with a melee weapon, it adds 1d6. So I think it was
So
just to
maybe that
like
was
give
for that.
myself a boost, like if I wanted to. Oh, interesting.
Fair
I'm not saying I'll go for a one level of cleric eventually anyway. I'm actually not quite sure. But yeah, a bit more of a sort of heavy weapons, sort of
What
minotaur
kind
that
of
is like
weapon
a
are you
cop.
think? Are you just thinking?
I don't know.
I guess if you take the martial proficiency, you can use heavy weapons, can't you? If an axe comes your way, you can use it.
I love the idea of having two weapons, like having a minotaur with two weapons. Because in theory,
Well, you've already got 2 weapons, haven't you?
yeah, exactly. I'll have 4 weapons, and then if I have an Echo Knight, I'll technically have 8 weapons. So I just like the idea of 2 Echo Knights with 2 weapons each,
So
or an
it
Echo
depends,
Knight.
I guess it depends on what kind of fighter you want to be. For the rest of us, like if you're going to be a tanky fighter that allows your Echo Knight to take on 2 groups, then
Yeah.
go sword and shield, right? Like same thing with Sixsmith, or you might be able to work out something like with 2 weapon fighting, but then you don't have your bonus action if you use 2 weapon fighting. You only make a secondary attack rather than.
Yeah, in theory, it's probably sensible for him to have a shield so he can knock down. Like I get the feat that
Yeah.
like shield bash. But that was Sixsmith's thing, man.
What was
I want to do something else.
thing?
I sort of like
Also,
the idea
Brad's
that
pointing out from the wings that if you take a level in cleric, you'll miss the extra attack at level 5 for fighter.
Yeah, 2
You
attack.
get it a bit later, but being able to attack twice is pretty intense.
Yeah, it
If
might be
you're
5 in
3
fighter.
times around.
Yeah, it might be 5 in fighter and then 1 in cleric,
Right.
or maybe not. Maybe I just did this on a whim. I'd have no idea. But he's definitely an Echo Knight and definitely a fighter. Yeah, maybe like 2 hand axes, not hand axes, but like 2 sort of like
big old battle axes.
Yeah.
When I was looking at, I was also, because I like playing martial up front characters. When I was looking at ways to potentially, I think Dan, you sent me that link of damage output for barbarians.
Yeah,
and actually one of the best things.
Maths.
Yes, and so one of the things that I found in that was that actually having 2 war hammers, like Thor's hammers, are like, I think they output 1d8 each. So those are
hammers would be cool.
Hammers would be brilliant.
A couple of hammers would be sweet, right?
Yeah.
So I just want a character, even though I'm still a fighter, I want him to feel very, very different to
Sixsmith. Yeah,
to Sixsmith.
Don't take a shield then.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go. Yeah, definitely. Also, because you can choose, it's not a bonus action to fight as your Echo Knight. You just use it. You just choose to fight from one or the other.
Sure,
it's not an extra one, but I can go basically if
you
I have an
can
extra
use your
attack.
bonus action to switch places.
Yeah, exactly. But I can also like attack as myself, then use my second attack as the Echo, then use my bonus attack to use a second hand attack, right, with the other weapon on one guy. So it's like I can sort of pick and choose where I need to do a bit of control.
Interesting. Brad's being DM extraordinaire and saying if you wanted to test being a cleric at 6, then it doesn't go well, then they can work something out to
that'd be amazing.
Because
there must have been a reason why I selected it.
I've got a few things as well, yeah.
Yeah, let's go to you, Dan, because basically I'm
going to step in between what you guys are doing, so I think it's not as interesting, basically, is what I'm saying, in typical Slash Dupe style.
I'll go last.
I'll go last so that I can
figure something out.
Come up with some ideas.
Yeah,
plus,
go on, Ryan.
Rise sounds awesome.
Yeah, the only thing I want to do later before we go is just figure out what kind of cop I am. Right, I've got to figure out like what sort of just the cops.
You are just 2 cops.
And what kind of have you got a voice for your character?
That's exactly it. So maybe we can do all of that stuff at the end, or like towards the end of this. Yeah.
Can you name your character Gore Fabrinsky, please? Because he's got horns.
Love it.
I can. Yeah. It's to be called Gore something, doesn't he?
Yeah. Gore
absolutely.
Fabrinsky.
Al Gore.
Al Gore. And also, like, I kind of feel like, Brad, if we've got this kind of like captain of the guard, because it's always the captain who's like, God damn it.
Well, Brad might have an idea as to how I can fit in.
I got the fuss right up my ass.
Literally, because I'm a fawn. No, I mean, I don't know if Brad has an idea, like, because he knows the world a bit more, but I don't know if I should drop in as like, because again, I genuinely don't know either, because I think we'll learn it as we go. The Avernus we're dropping into, does it have its own sort of structure? Does it have its own military? How does it work? So, is it, or is it more esoteric? Is it like being in hell? So I just don't know if can I be part of the force that are the good forces that are already there, or does it not work that way? Should I come from like a peacekeepers force from above?
Yeah, it's like Baldur's Gate, isn't it? So, he's saying, so this is something all of you know. I don't know whether there's going to be a change, but I'll make my prediction that obviously we're in Baldur's Gate, or like Baldur's Gate style things. So we're up
in the
on the
Forgotten
material
Land,
plane, yeah. And then that falls into hell. So there must be a militia or police force there, and they're the ones trying to hold fort, I guess, when it falls into hell.
Because I could be that
part of that militia.
Yeah. I also want to make sure I'm not, now thinking about it, that is also quite close to Sixsmith. So I also want to make sure that I'm more on the sort of detective and cop on the beat style.
Maybe you're a
sort of
PI.
Yeah, maybe.
You've never made it into the cop world.
Yeah. No, there was retired cops, right? So I retired out of like being a beat cop, and now I'm a PI.
Love it.
Yeah, actually, that would be cool. I've got a little hat on and everything.
The thing at the beginning.
Oh, and the cop is the Echo Knight that comes out, who's like made it in every. So he's like the one that comes out thinks he's a cop or is a cop or acts like the cop of the area, but I'm just a PI.
So you will know this. Baldur's Gate has a military force called the Flaming Fist.
That's a poor.
Oh no! Come on, Brad.
Completely mercenary. There is no national army.
Okay.
All military you meet is private, owned by the Duke and stuff.
Okay.
So there's no national army.
Now I'm fairly convinced I want to be a PI. Because the PIs always work. The law always rub up against them. They always know who they are. They're always like, "Oh, we know you, Bogart." Whatever.
Internal affairs.
Yeah. Internal affairs.
There's no national. There is no national.
This is the thing. I'll be like a private investigator, and then the Echo will come out as internal affairs, right? So like then if I'm in a situation where you need an IA like person, the Echo Knight will come out and act like an IA officer.
Specific Duke that runs the Flaming Fist has gone missing on a return trip to El-Tyrell, the city that has disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So that is.
So yeah, I sort of like. So Brad, I sort of like the idea of like, because they always do this in the film noirs. The detectives always they always know a couple of cops, right? Or they always used to be. His dad used to be in the force or something. And we're like in Roger Rabbit. So like he sort of knows a few people, or in Chinatown or something. But the cops basically think he's a loser, even though I would think I'm, looking after the little guy, that sort of thing.
It doesn't matter. This is Cloud Town, Jake.
Yeah.
The one throwaway joke from.
I laughed so hard at that in the IMAX. Nobody laughed at that.
Nobody understood.
Cloud Town. Yeah. So maybe so then actually that really helps because it narrows me down into further away from Sixsmith, and also I can do an accent that is maybe a bit more like sort of Humphrey Bogart-ish, or sort of like film noir-y, that sort of thing. Okay, I'm sort of keen on that. All right, Ryan, we'll let's circle back to me if I've got any other bits because I might find that there's things to fit in with you guys afterwards as well, obviously, like Dan.
Brad said, yeah, PI in dirty, corrupt Baldur's Gate works a dream. I don't know if that's being sarcastic or not. It would be like a PI in Gotham to your sensibilities.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Like the corrupt police force, and I might be there, like giving out bribes and stuff to get us into places and stuff like that. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Yeah. All right, Ryan.
Got to grease a few palms and check a few hooves.
And also, because we talked about it before, but you got to shod a few hooves. Yeah, we talked about this because we played an Eberron game before Johnny came on for Erinwell, and it was really, and we were just getting to a point where our detective agency was about to kick off. So I sort of feel like I've got some unfinished detective business to deal with.
Well,
all right, Ryan.
I was thinking. The thing is, I was thinking, smashy, frontliney, and I do like that. But I also find that like we rarely have enough utility, and also I've played healers in 2 out of 3 of our campaigns, right? It's only Strahd that I play a barbarian, but obviously being healing in alongside Bradley in Arian Well, and then also in the game that you mentioned, the Eberron game, played a cleric. So, and I never really play intelligence-based characters. That's also something I find that we lack as well. We actually did kind of lack it in Eberron, not Eberron, sorry, in wherever it was. They all sound the same from Johnny's Invention.
Erin Well,
yeah, both begin with E. So I feel like we're missing that. So I want to play I'm looking at play.
Oh, well, we're back up, I think.
I think we're back. Yeah, we're good. Cool. All right. Cool. All right.
Not sure what happened there. What do you want to just roll back to the start? Or well,
Yeah, of
give us the
course.
cliff notes of what you're talking about. Yeah, the
Sorry, I think when in Dan and his childcare duties, let his laptop.
if you've
go
got
to
to
sleep.
drop one thing, the child or the laptop, you can drop the laptop.
Yeah.
Actually, you can always make another child, right? But you can't
Yeah,
just.
that's true.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe drop the child. That's that's the sort of advice you'll get if you tune into next Monday's.
That's a blood and brimstone guarantee. So I've never played an intelligence-based character really, but I don't want to play a wizard because I think you're a prick if you play a wizard. Really,
That's to Johnny
me.
specifically.
Well, it's not just anyone. I feel like they're geared to be the ultimate. I'm a nerd, so let me be the most powerful version of myself. Fuck you, jerk off all over the stuff,
No,
and then get shoved in a locker, right? That's basically. And then in real life, you get shoved in a locker and farted through the little slats.
Oh, my character has to be called Gene.
Farts.
Gene,
oh, okay.
Gene. That's such a great name. It's an old school name.
Like Gene Hackman is better than Pac-Man.
So you were saying that wizards were your favourite character and you love them.
Wizards can 0121 go bloody do one, mate. Sorcerers seem to seem a little bit, like, I don't know, evil, don't they? Sorcerer, the only one that sounds good is Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, but Warlocks are just straight pricks. Do you know what I mean?
What was Jafar though?
Jafar
was a vizier. He was a vizier.
No, I know, but he was a sorcerer and a vizier, right?
Yeah.
One would be his job title, one would be his vocation. His real passion was sorcery.
Sorcerers have magic in their blood, don't they?
Yeah.
That's wizards have to read up on it.
Nerds.
And warlocks sell their soul to something else to get the power.
Exactly. Right. So I thought, what's a good int character that I can help the party and have a good, cool kind of character backstory. And Artificer, I think, is a class I'm interested in playing. So I thought I'm going to give that a go. And I think specifically, we had Christine playing the Battlesmith with Toots, and it was like a big mechanical palanquin or whatever it's called, right? So no, it's not palanquin.
It's a pangolin.
Pangolin.
But the Artificer can be divided into 3 subcategories, basically, can't it? There's the Battlesmith, which is what Christine was, which you have a sort of mechanical buddy. You're like an engineer. Then I played one in our Eberron game, the other kind, of which I've forgotten. What is it? You're like, an artillerist. So you sort of fling. You have a gun, basically. You have a sort of magic equivalent of a gun. Sort of like a
Yeah, they added the armorer now as well, which sort of allows you
sort of like a robot, like a mech suit version, like a sort of dwarf.
No, it's more like
you can in an exoskeleton.
You can create stuff. So you're more like a
Iron Man.
Tony Stark in a cave with a box of scraps, basically.
Love it.
Rather than having the full Jarvis sort of outfit, which is quite cool. You can make a load of quite cool stuff. But I think the Alchemist is quite a cool. They act as a healer for the party as well, but as well as being able to use the Artificer skill to create returning weapon and all the other little bits and bobs and
Thor's hammers.
Two Thor's hammers. Do you know what I'm saying? Or whatever your character is doing. Or whoever the other people are in the party. So I think it's nice as well as it's not one that if like if I'm gone, it's not like, oh fuck, we lose our up front fighter for a couple of episodes or something like that.
But
do you know what I mean?
lose
So
our
it's
healer, so that's...
yeah, but there's not the thing, because there's other people can heal in other ways, and being the alchemist, I can give you guys healing potions while I'm away.
Nice.
Right? So yeah, and I sort of liked this idea of the character. I like the idea of the character being maybe like a snake oil salesman.
I like that. Yeah.
And so that's what he was doing. He was peddling his wares, and that grumpy voice that we heard at the beginning, I reckon I sold him a bottle of something sus, to make his hair grow back or whatever else. Because he sounds like a bald man. And I've been caught, and then it was either die or join or die. Were my choices. So I'm sort of there, like having to do that, little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit Zane, little bit, airheady, electric sparky, but good at what he does. He's like is it Walt Whitman? Is that the guy from
Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad, but
no, Walt Whitman was the poet.
Walter White. That's what his name was.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, a bit like a Walter White without the cancer, basically. Like, good at what he does, knows what he's doing.
That's the tagline for your character. I love it.
Walter White without the cancer. That's just a teacher, mate, isn't it?
That's true. It's just a bored, very good teacher. So that's basically what I was thinking. I think I get to have some fun, and it will be a new class and a new way for me to playing. I'm gonna have to get rid of the, I really fear about using spells. Like that's the thing. I think it's like resource management.
Like you have too much and.
No, it's more like, oh shit, I'm gonna need that, so I better not use it.
Life's too short.
And so I'm gonna have to try and get rid of. That's gonna be like a personal struggle for me playing. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna have to just sling spells and hope for the best. Because I think that may be a playstyle that I'll go for. But then being able to create potions, heal you guys. I think maybe the one thing that we never really explored through Christine's character was the fact that every day she can change all those evocations on weapons. So it'd be like, what do people need this morning? What is it like we're gonna do? That kind of thing. Like, I can sort of do that a bit more. So it should be interesting to sort of see how the utility of that character plays.
That's really
and
interesting.
they've definitely they've updated D&D Beyond to make it easier to pick all the things you can choose from and stuff like that. So you know what they do and know what they are. So it could be an interesting approach. I've got and also the experimental elixirs that you get as a alchemist don't just have to be healing, right? They can do other things, or I can just not tell you, and you can risk.
Well, you can tell us that they're things that we want, and then we can take them, and they can be other things.
The thing is, so the I'm reading ahead on this, right? Like in the thingy, but nothing in the experimental elixirs is negative. It's not like one of those things where you can grow an extra bum or whatever. It's not like wild magic, which is what I would have played. I would love to have played a wild magic sorcerer,
right?
Because I think it just adds so much craziness to it.
It still can,
but basically, whenever you have the experimental elixir, you have to roll when you use it. Bradley's just said that in the chat as well. So you can either get.
I see. Okay.
So you can either get healing, increase speed, increase your AC. You can add a D4 to every attack. You can fly, or you can transform. So it's like there's loads of things you can. They're all good things, right? It's sort of like the other thing. It's basically like the Wild Surge. It's like the Wild Surge Barbarian actually as well. Like you get a cool thing every time you do that. So that's something that I thought, if I'm discussing that I'm out for a couple of weeks or whatever, I can maybe give you guys a couple of those to keep my character's sort of essence in, chaosity. In there.
Yeah, that's quite a good idea. Yeah. Actually, it's not a word, but it probably is a good point to chuck in that
chaosity. Walter White without the cancer.
That's what you should call yourself, Butch Chaosity.
Butch Chaosity is good, actually.
Well, I do have a name for my character, and it sort of ties into the sort of the very generic accent I've given them as well.
Okay.
And and ties in nicely in a sort of Theodas way to Dragon Age, as the class that I'm playing as well.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
Have you got an accent? If you got, what was your name? Did you tell us your name?
No, I thought we were doing all that at the end, don't we? Once we've all gone through everyone's.
Christ. No, but I sort of know my name and my voice now. I don't know my name yet, but my voice is going to be like
Let's
a sort
Dan
of.
do it, and then we can all
let's do
go
mine
back
then.
around.
I've got a very loose idea. No, I haven't. I've got a fairly strong idea actually. I want to be a bounty hunter. Decided that I play a lot of nice characters, so it's about time. Although, let's be fair, Doz probably wasn't a very nice character. But
There were some dark sides to your nice characters.
I feel like I'm going to channel a bit more Doz in this next one, but not out and out evil, just grizzled, like sort of begrudgingly helpful. So bounty hunter, and I thought working out what we've got, but Joffrey is also said he's going to come join us for a little bit. Which is wicked.
That's great.
So I guess between the two of us, we're just going to make sure we balance out. So we've got like a frontliner and we've got like our artillery, so back support. So we need something long range and maybe something mid or, sort of scouty. So I thought maybe I would be a ranger, even though they get bad rap in.
I think they tuned them up
edition.
recently, didn't they? Though
They did in Tasha's, and I think it got a bit better. So I'm going to have a little look at that. And I think that would, whether Joffrey's here or not, that would give someone that can be long range, but also a bit scouty, plays a bit roguey. Do you know what I mean? Not quite there to be.
What
to
would
play
be the
against
ideal background? What would be your what do they call it? Your favoured terrain or whatever.
Well, I think
you have to ask Bradley for that.
But they changed it in Tasha's, which is why it got better, in that you don't have to choose.
You're not allowed to play Bond if you pick that as your preferred area. Too urban.
Too urban.
I like that. That's good.
No, I think there's the new options for Rangers that I'm going to have a look at, because they're meant to be more useful,
right?
And less specific.
Okay.
And I like the idea of being a shooty. So I'll probably I don't know whether to be like a dual wielding hand crossbow.
Lots of dual wielding going on, eh?
Yeah, or whether to be like a sniper. I like the idea of a sniper as well. So I might focus on sniping.
So as a sniper, would you get a long? What would that be like?
I don't know whether to get a long
crossbow,
bow
a heavy
or like
crossbow,
a heavy crossbow.
Yeah,
I mean, like take people out from distance, and be a bit sneaky, but not.
Are you
like
thinking
rogue,
like one?
sneaky.
Yeah.
Are you thinking like one target, or because there's like, I know in the generic archetype, you've got like Colossus Slayer.
Yeah,
which you add like a D8 if anything.
I think I've seen the Gloom Stalker, which looks quite interesting. It's got this thing where you can turn invisible in dim light. And even people with dark vision can't see you in dim light. It's quite cool. Thinking ahead that a lot of demons and devils are going to have dark vision.
Yeah, but they might also have like your.
I don't think the baby
astral...
likes the idea.
Don't think the baby likes the idea of
spooky. I won't be a bad person.
I'll just
I'm going to defeat the bad people.
Yeah, that's better.
Fair play, maybe.
And then they have demon vision, which is probably different to.
Maybe, who knows? We'll find out the hard way, won't we? I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true. I don't think I can sell.
I've got an idea for later on, turning a bit paladin-y, but not good paladin-y. But not bad. There's the one, because I like Doz quite a lot. I didn't get to play too much with him. There was the Oath of Conquest or something like that, or that, it feels like hunting someone down and owning them.
Yeah,
feels like what they'll become, but we'll see. And I think I'd like a bit something narratively to happen before that. It would be a good conquest. So that's what I'm hoping. And I think my name's going to be Ms. Lorian.
Not Mrs. Lorien.
Not
If
Mrs.
you've been
Lorien.
married to
Ms. Lorien.
Mr. Lorien.
Amanda, her first name.
Ah. we, we had a conversation about this before. I thought you were joking.
No, seriously.
That's genuinely what your
That's
character's going to be.
Look, it
Amanda
feels like we're going to be a little bit,
Amanda
a
Lorien.
bit more tongue in cheek in this one.
Okay.
I might change it if Brad gets upset.
No, I like it a lot.
Oath of Conquests. I'm quite excited about that. So that's why I'm going.
That's really interesting because initially I was thinking, because you briefly talked about Bounty Hunter in a chat we're having, and I thought, yeah, so maybe I can have like a sort of love-hate relationship with you, considering that I'll be a cop. But if I move more towards the PI, then it's my bread and butter to get a bounty hunter on to, like, maybe to get someone down, right? Yeah. So there might be like a sort of good business relationship between us, sort of thing. That's interesting. Doesn't have to be as close as yours and Joffrey's,
but a baby green creature, baby goblin.
Yeah, homunculus servant, isn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, get a homunculus servant that's basically like a disgusting, hideous baby Yoda, like just a warped, horrible version.
I mean, depending on how childcare goes, I might actually have my own baby Yoda the entire way through this.
Yeah, it's true.
Game, so.
Your wife did have a character named sort of after your son, but with his name backwards.
That's right. Yeah,
and like imp. It was, what was it? An imp. Yeah, that joined us.
That's a very useful imp. Actually,
I mean, it had the most plot armor I've ever seen on anything.
Well, that's because Dan couldn't allow the proxy of their child to die.
No, but like not just like it had plot armor and like the god sword as well. Like the amount of times it like flew through burning buildings to pick up children at like 10 times its own weight and fly them out to safety.
Can't make my wife unhappy. Be no more Dungeons and Dragons weekends. That's it.
It's very true.
Right, what's my just briefly, what's my standard array for a fighter then? I'm going strength, that's the main thing. Con and then dex, or dex then con?
You're going to get smacked in the face.
Con.
2 weapon fighting, you probably want... Oh, I don't know whether you need high dex for 2 weapon fighting anymore. It used to be that you had to, but
then dex, that's also my...
Strength, con, dex, because that's your AC.
Damage? Yeah.
Intelligence is your dump stat.
Oh, okay. But then wisdom and charisma.
Wisdom's good for saving throws, but...
Yeah. So probably wisdom, charisma.
No dex mod for 2
No dex mod for 2 weapon.
Charisma,
you don't necessarily need a high dex mod if you're going to wear heavy armor.
I suppose you're right. Okay, I'll put more thought into it then. I'll go back into it and have a look at what armor I want to wear, and I'm definitely going to go for those hammers.
Yes.
And then I might keep charisma. Charisma shouldn't be a dump stat because I imagined like I talk a lot, so my
based on these 3 characters, we don't have a charisma character. We don't have a face character. We don't have a bard or a.
I was going to be a bard. I thought about being a bard.
It's too close. Busman's holiday.
I miss Pedrig.
Yeah.
Because I never really got to explore him, so I thought about importing a character that's a little bit like him into this game, but then I thought it's not. Because a bard would be great in this.
But then you'd fall in love with him too much, and this is a bit more loosey-goosey.
Could be dyed.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not put too much love and thought into
Give me plot armor, Brad. Give me plot armor right now. Right now.
Simic scientist. That's odd. Anyway.
Mick scientist. Is that the name?
Simic. No, not Mick scientist. No, I'm just having a look at the background.
Mick scientist. Strength. As Brad says, strength all the way for fighters. Okay. You want to be hitting hard, and them not getting up. Basically.
2nd level is rough. Okay.
Yeah. But it should be pretty interesting.
So we think, is it Warhammer you were talking about? 2 Warhammers.
I think they are 1d8 maybe damage. That's bludgeoning. You're going to be rubbish. You're going to be rubbished against any jellies, mate. That's the only problem.
Yeah, but then we'll have someone at the back firing, right? Right? Surely.
If we come up against any jellies, you're just going to... Actually, no, I think bludgeoning is good against jellies.
Just going to smash them flat, right?
No, I think because it's slashing weapons that cut them in 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be bludgeoning that's actually... I might have that wrong, actually. Maybe be really good against them. Oh, sorry. The one-handed hammers are 1d6 each.
All right.
Um,
All right. I'm kind of
the
liking
war-
this. Got to pick a feat. I'll probably pick the 2 weapon fighting feat, or
I don't know
whichever the
what.
one
See, the
is.
thing
Don't
is,
know.
I don't know what race to be. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
So I
Why
only
was the-
picked this Minotaur because I'd accidentally picked it
cool.
before, and it just fit. I was like, yeah, this is perfect.
I was thinking I might be a halfling, mainly because they've got that really cool feat that lets you re-roll a 1.
See, I was thinking
that
of
would be cool.
halfling too.
Ooh.
Which obviously there's no issue having 2 halflings, is there? And we'll make 1 person, basically.
Is that or I go? Yeah, I was thinking halfling because it might be like Napoleon syndrome. Do you know what I mean? Like holds grudges against people because they underestimate him.
Maybe just
be
basically
him,
like
I think,
and that's one of the reasons people take the piss as well.
do you know, I'm reading. I was rereading Gateway for a book club. Actually, it's by Friedrich Pohl. I suggested it. Everyone's read it. I haven't, so now I feel like a prick. But the main character's called Robinette, and he's really angry. That's the first thing he says. He's like, in spite of this, I'm a man. And then he's talking to a robot shrink, and the shrink is sort of saying to him, why don't you ask people to call you Robin? And he's like, yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You know, you'd say that was me sort of, you know, giving up on my masculinity or something. So there's a whole thing at the start of this book about him, you know, not understanding why he's called a sort of slightly more feminine name. So yeah, sort of like there's something interesting about underpinning a character with that, isn't there?
Brad's put that 2 halflings and a minotaur is a hilarious image.
That's true.
2 halflings and a minotaur just barreling along. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, Brad's right. I mean, I could definitely say, to be fair, it doesn't matter, does it? That's the beauty of this. Like, it doesn't all have to be perfect either. It's not like Lord of the Rings. I mean, to be fair, Lord of the Rings had fucking like 4 halflings and, you know, and in it for basically the entire movie.
Bradley, have you got the hare people as your the rabbit people? Have you got the books for that? That'd be cool. I might play one of those. Little, like, basically like a.
Well, if you do that, like, I'll have to be a turtle, won't I? So that we've got a hare and a tortoise.
And a minotaur.
A tortoise and a minotaur. I guess
I also like the idea that my minotaur hunches, you know, because he's like, he's a bit weathered and sort of grumpy, so he's sort of doesn't have his full stature.
The thing is you got.
But then the Echo Knight comes out like the cop that like owns the place.
Love it.
You should have he ain't been the same since he got that chip in his horn.
Yeah, definitely.
One broken horn, and his echo doesn't have.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
No, not a good idea.
With the baby cry at that decision.
You're lucky because the microphone knows that your baby's cry doesn't come through it noise cancels.
Did it cancel out the cry? That's excellent news. Not
so
on the
I
stream,
think.
I don't think.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so I'll probably go 1 broken horn, but maybe the Echo has the full horn because I don't know if it has to look exactly like me. I'm not sure, but if it doesn't, then maybe that's why it always thinks it's the best because it's from its heyday. You know, it's got the full horn, and that creates a little animosity between.
I'll have a look through. I don't exactly know which class I'm going to be. I'll have a proper look through and see what there are because they've redone all the classes recently, haven't they? Because you got like a legacy version and like the updated.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm interested in that actually.
So it should be interesting. I mean, I can't it'd be fun to be something like a changeling or something like that, but I think those just like they're a little bit because I could just be like anybody and like then it's I don't know. I don't like that.
That might work for my bounty hunter. I might have a look at that, but I still like the idea of a little bounty hunter trying to make their way in the world.
Yeah, I'll have a proper look. I mean, I might even play like a half orc. Yeah, I might play a half orc. That'd be interesting.
Interesting. We don't normally.
But then they're strength based, so that's the thing, aren't they?
No, well, they're not anymore. That's the thing that Tasha's brought in, didn't it? Is that it doesn't have to be.
Oh yeah, true. You don't have to pick
races,
racial traits. Yeah,
racial traits.
Yeah.
You don't have to go with racial thingies, don't you? You can just give yourself an extra bonus, like 2 in one and 1 in the other, can't you?
So that makes it more useful.
Yeah, well, I'll have a look at what I want to play. But I think I want to name my character. Well, I'm gonna name my character Misty. And they'll have like just a very generic. If someone drew a map of Europe and squanched it all together, all of those accents in one is basically what my character's going to be. So
Are they related to Mr. T? Is that what
yes.
So Miss T.
No, it's because an alchemist, Misty.
I like that. I like that.
There you go. That's what it is.
We're a bit more tongue in cheek, aren't we?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. But Misty is going to talk like this. Just
Watching, listening to Dungeons and Daddies, and Freddie Wong's character is always named after
Taylor Swift and
Taylor Swift and Glenn Close and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But after a while, that's perfectly normal and actually great. I like it.
So Misty is going to sell you the dream. You want your longer hair? It will go back exactly as you like it. Or
I don't have an accent yet, but I'll workshop one. See what comes out.
Yeah, you don't want to scare your child by doing an accent it's never heard before. I don't know. I want to try and do like a sort of, right, wow, she, yeah,
you're gonna go
over there.
I like.
I'm going, yeah, but I'm not 100%. I can do it yet, so I'll have to practice a lot.
No, the thing is, you are really good with accents, Sean. Like once you hone down on it for a while.
Yeah, but it's whether I'll be able to hone this one down, I don't know. It's really tough because it's a bit transatlantic as well. And so that's really tough to do.
It's just, I mean, the way that I thought about it is you need to be able to, if you've got to speak to an NPC, you can't just be like, hey, you see, and then can I do this? You see?
So that's the problem. Because
I'd like to hear you do like an American, like maybe like any sort of American throughout style of accent.
You could go for more like the gunslinger accent, couldn't you? That's a fairly easy one to keep. Yeah. Well, I reckon I might as well get on my horse and go over there and do some shooting.
Hey now, horse!
Then I reckon you should be Butch Gore. That's what you should be, your name.
Butch Gore.
Butch Gore. It's like so overly masculine, isn't it?
Butch Gore. But he'll be like over the hill.
Hey now, partner. I'm Butch Gore. I'm Butch Gore. I'm Butch Gore.
Kids.
Hey.
No.
Oh, just ruining
sound like the paedophile
now.
from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to just go for the full Bogart when I'll just watch. I've got a bunch of Bogart films waiting to watch. I've got Treasure Sierra Madre and In a Lonely Place. Really, in that one, yeah, a couple of weird old Bogarts.
This is the stream, not Slash Dupe. Yeah, stop talking about movies. Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
Slash Dupe. Everywhere you get good podcasts where you can listen to the three of us talk about films and come up with ideas. Yeah, none of that. It's not in here.
Yeah, sorry. I won't mention either that we've got our final adjudicator episode coming up, which will then have one final episode after that. We've finished the season.
Yeah,
but I definitely shouldn't tell anyone that. Yeah.
Sorry, mate, not allowed to do without any ID. Slash Dupe.
Slash Dupe. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Sorry. You're saying Count of Monte Cristo's knife or whatever it was. That you've listened to.
That, to be fair, from the movie The Count of Monte Cristo, that is the right kind of accent of the main character.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's that kind of like, you get your own treehouse or whatever. That does just sound like me saying words. That's just my normal voice.
In V for Vendetta?
Yeah, that's what he's watching.
Find your own tree.
Find your own tree. Yeah, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to do because it's transatlantic. It sort of sounds a bit English as well, so it's going to sound a bit. That's why you have to go Bogart. You have to go recognizable and or put on like a Jimmy Stewart kind of accent. Wow. No, I can't do it. You see, that's my Jimmy Stewart.
That makes me think of Harvey, and then maybe your Echo Knight is actually invisible and you're the only one that can see it.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't actually exist.
That was my best Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, I'll work on the accent, but yeah, something Bogart-y. I'll watch a bunch of film noirs beforehand. So Dan's going to do it on the night, is he? We're just going to
have a little think about whether it's how silly I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Or how like you don't want to be silly. Once you start something silly, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, like see all of Johnny's characters' voices for his main characters. Like he goes, didn't he do one that was like that guy in all I could with my only friend references that he drinks he goes flying up into the ceiling on Chick Chick Bang Bang. He all sort of like that silly guy.
Ed.
What's his name? Ed
Fuck.
Whiffle or something. I bet his last name's Whiffle.
It's not far from that.
But anyway, Johnny, that was Johnny's go-to, and then he had to
Oh
keep
my
that up.
goodness!
Yeah, that's
Oh
it.
my goodness! I just can't be bothered to talk about that.
And then you had to keep that up for an entire session. So, yeah, you're right. You can't go too silly, can you? You've got
No.
to get something that you can
I don't
maintain.
order to embrace my Essex
Yeah,
and go like full.
yeah,
I could go
what's your-
two smoking barrels.
What's your
couldn't I?
Scottish like?
yeah. You
My
could.
Scottish is awful. Like
Really?
honestly,
let's
it's
hear a bit.
terrible.
Now, the problem with that is that it also. We
Oh.
are profiling now, but you just think of dwarfs with a Scottish accent. you just
Yeah,
can't
that's
get
true.
away from a dwarf.
So what was
can you?
interesting in NADPOD that he switched all of his dwarves to be like, to talk like this. The dwarves, fuck you, I love you, eat a rat. This is what we're going to talk now. The dwarves, they
Listen,
work
have you
hard
thought-
at the things they do.
Have you thought about like even that's a bit of an analog to the Eastern Bloc?
True.
They're sort of
Yeah.
like hard
What-
working, do
what
rough
about-
jobs. That sort of thing. Sort of,
like real like croaky, real croaky like
no, you can't. That'll fuck your voice up, won't it? If you do
Wow,
that
if
the
you
whole
just do
time.
it near the top, you don't really have to worry about it, really. He's,
Not that
so
voice.
it was so
that voice.
scary. He ran away.
Got to be a voice you
Oh,
can maintain.
I kind of feel like I wanted to do an orc like this one time. He's just
That's not too bad. That seems
don't
easy to
really-
do. Yeah.
Oh no, I just swing my axe and stuff. Really, that's all I do. I don't really want to fight. No, I do want to fight. Sorry, I don't want to think.
Yeah, that sounds achievable. Because you've got to maintain it, haven't you, the whole time?
Just got to make sure you've got enough phlegm in the back. Really.
All right. So that's okay. All right. So we've got a bit of a team coming on, and what Dan was saying about Joffrey was that he might play a frontliner. Was that right?
No, he
If
said he's
Dan's
trying to
there.
slot himself in. Because now he knows we haven't got a face character. Might play a face character.
Also, Joffrey, I don't know if he's listening to this or watching this, but he'd be a good face character, I think. Right? He'd
Yeah.
it would be good to get him to sort of go in first and try his charm, and if that doesn't work, we sort of come in. It might be nice as well because Sixsmith, by his characterization, was a face character, but not by his stats or his skills. So his character was to come across like that, and then he'd always fail.
Yeah.
So it's nice to play a character that sort of only has to step up when somebody goes, right, get the cop in, and then like the echo can come in and fill in what's necessary.
Yeah, we don't really have a
Um,
Christian-based character, but to be fair, like if Brad has got a Hernagon or Herengon, I don't know how you pronounce it, but there is like a little thing actually, isn't there? Anyway, I'll find it later.
Do
But I
they
think that's the
have
character I
a
might play.
face and healing character? Do they leech off of the same skills? Is
Face,
there a-
face and healing is a paladin.
right? But
That's,
I mean,
that's
oh
basically
well, I've
what
just
it
played
was.
a paladin, so it's not interesting to me. But maybe Joffrey will want to play a
No,
paladin.
you played and he just played a cleric as well. So he played a grave dame and cleric. To be fair, you can have healing. You can have healing sorceresses.
come up with some
You can have a
healing
healing
stuff, can't you?
sorcerer, and a
As well?
sorcerer is charisma based.
Yeah, that's interesting. Or
so
you
there's-
can come up with some, can't you? You can come up with some healing potions, can't you? As an
Oh, I told
artificer.
you, I've got the experimental elixirs, which you guys can share around as the alchemist, and
Yeah,
I
that's
get to do
kinda
some
fun,
other stuff
though.
with it. So the alchemist is quite a fun class with it, and I'll be buffing a lot from people, and sort of. So if you're lucky enough to have a overpowered hammer or a better shield or something from the session before that I'm not there about, I think if Dan does return, I think it might be nice to maybe, if Dan does return, if his baby
He
doesn't
does return.
if his baby doesn't
I don't
face
fall
hug him
asleep.
and then implant an egg in him and then he'll explode out. That's what babies do, right?
Yeah.
Any babies I've had experience
That's
with
how
are
babies
baby
are made.
xenomorphs.
Babies pop out, they are the xenomorph. And then they destroy you from the inside out. Yeah, that bit's true.
Oh,
What else?
what was that, Dan? Sorry, what was that, Bradley? Said when, which, oh, Divine Warlock, which is what Dan played briefly as Thingy's brother after he was stupidized. There's Paige.
This is Bradley giving us some information whilst doing something else and trying to type as fast as possible. Thingy's brother when he was stupefied.
Yeah, I do know. I remember that. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ones, but I think I might
In the
play.
meantime, Brad, let us know if we need to know anything else before we wrap up.
Yeah.
So we basically got everything we need. It's important to tell everyone who's watching or listening as well. We're going to be a bit looser on the structure, so we're really gonna try and put one out every Monday. What we want to do is have, I get it's a minimum of 3 really is necessary, isn't it?
Plus
for
the DM.
Yeah. Plus the DM, so that comes at 4. If
But
that
the thing
doesn't
is,
happen,
I've had a lot of people who have been interested in doing a few sessions but can't commit to a long form arc. So, providing we okay it all with Brad and we spool up, that, there's a little extra work on that part. But,
Yeah.
it's like we have the ability, Zach Ayama did the Rotating Heroes podcast, which basically does the same thing but with celebrities. And,
Yeah, we
and
sort of
so
like the
it's,
excitement of the drop in, drop out. We dropped
yeah.
Joffrey and it seemed to work really well. So it's like it'd be nice to drop a few other people in, sprinkle them around, and then hopefully fill in the gaps for when we're off. If we can't do it, then we might just put a post out saying we need to skip a Monday. But yeah, with sort of the idea with Descent is that we can be a bit freer about how we drop people in and out. It's a little bit more exciting. I mean, I remember when we talked about this before, but we played Mike's game and we had Sam Pay, our good friend, who will be on the next episode of Slash Tube actually as adjudicator, who has his own podcast, Song by Song. He came in and played something like Azeroth the Defiler.
No, that was Joffrey.
No, so the Defiler was the first one, right?
No.
Oh, so Joffrey played Azeroth the Defiler.
Unhinged.
No, the Unhinged was the second one.
No. He was Azeroth the Unhinged. Then it was Azeroth the Hinged. Then it was Azeroth the Defiler.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that's a fair. Yeah, that's yeah. You're right. Yeah. So like basically, yeah, the Unhinged and then the Hinged, and that's funny. So, but essentially, what it was it was a different. It was Azeroth was, I believe, a warlock, right, with a patron or a spirit or something. It was different in 4, but ultimately, it was a different person came in and played the same character, but with a different patron. So they're able to sort of carry on the character, but be whoever they wanted to be. It was really interesting. So there's real scope for us to be sort of flexible and have a bit of fun and drop
we
people in
might
and
even
drop
be
them
able to create like a fifth that then just people take control of when they get here. Do you know what I mean? And it's like
yeah.
And maybe that is that kind of thing. Maybe we
should get a shapeshifter in there, man. That'd be the best.
Well, I was
thing.
gonna say, like, what was
right?
You've been reading the comics. What's old matey boy that has all the powers, basically? Xavier's son that just has all the powers, doesn't he?
What in X-Men?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, doesn't Charles Xavier's son basically like
There's loads of sons, isn't he? No, Legion's his kid, right?
Oh, is it? Yeah, so like a character like Legion, basically, that has
like a bunch of like stuff in them. Yeah.
Or was it Super Crooks on Netflix? I only watched it because it kind of looked a little horny, but it was, and it is because it's Japanese and it's anime, but it's about superheroes, criminal superheroes. But there's a guy in that, Praetorian, ironically, who doesn't know what his power is until the beginning of the day.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And he's got like and he used like a deck of cards to figure it out. So, that might be quite a cool thing. So we could always potentially have like a fifth.
Yeah, so they don't have to spin up if they just want to play. We've got a character like Azeroth that can
you can either be like this, or this is what the last person played, and just carry it on. Yeah,
it's not a bad
I don't
idea.
know.
Yeah.
We're still, can you tell we're still formulating the idea of all of it? But
no, but I think that's okay, because I think it's now we've all come out of the pandemic. I think it's nicer to be a bit less prescriptive. We've all got other things we've got to concentrate on. I think it's good to just be like let's figure this out. Let's have a bit of fun. Bang, let's do it. It's done. Rather than all of us put an incalculable amount of time and effort into Arian Well. Like it took up all of our free time during the pandemic.
Which we had lots of during the patch.
Which we had lots of.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well. It was something to do, wasn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. And it was a great. And I'm still hopeful that we'll go back to it one day. But for the time being, and revisit those characters. But for the time being, we're really, really, really honoured that Bradley will be generating this world for us to be basically fucking about in. And it's very exciting. So Bradley, I hope you let us know in the chat if there's anything else. But
so
I
want to request this.
I hope you like our characters and you're excited by what we've created so far as well.
So Bradley said, "I'll bring some information to the table with us in the next couple of days about what your characters know about Baldur's Gate and everything." And El Tyrell, where I can't pronounce it.
It sounded right.
Dan, can we now we know what our characters are and things like that? Can we listen to that recording one more time?
Yeah.
To see if we've got everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can sort of just round up and sign off afterwards. That's a good idea.
All right, you maggots. There's cultists on the loose. Our leader, Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard, has gone missing, along with the entire city of El Tyrell. Refugees claw at our walls, and the city has gone into lockdown. We cannot risk this happening to us. Cultists are on the loose in the streets, and whether you like it or not, you're being drafted to hunt them down. They follow the dead three, and people in the streets are being murdered and brutalized. I will not have it.
There we go. I won't play the rest of it because that's Bradley being Bradley.
Yeah. Okay. I just a little bit behind the stream, but so that's good. So we know we've got cultists to hunt down.
Yes.
Got
to say that.
They
carefully.
are the big three or whatever. We know old Dukey McDuke faces is gone. So okay, so that's quite good.
That's it. I'm going to deal with just the lower end. I'm just the man on the street. I deal with just the low life scum, right? Like that's basically those detective agencies that basically never get any work, and he's always on the poverty line, and he just knows just everyone on the street, and that's it. So I don't deal with dukes and whatnot. Like that's not my jurisdiction, sort of thing. But maybe the Echo might have a different opinion on that. He might be quite politically charged and stuff, you know.
If I can get the Duke to buy my wares, then of course I would have a limitless supply of all of the things that I need to purchase.
It's good. And now Dan's accent.
I think mine's gonna be like the best bounty hunter there is. Like honestly, top skills, but no one hires them because they're a halfling. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's got a huge chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and they're just like proper racist. They're like, this guy can't do it. Why not get the Minotaur to do it?
No one's gonna hire Amanda. That's what it is, right? No one hires Amanda.
Are you
it's a halfling woman, and it's like, no, mate.
A halfling woman. I was gonna say you playing a man called Amanda.
A man called Amanda. And then people think that
it's a halfling woman on the paper.
So they're sexist and racist.
Yeah.
It's like, deal with it.
So you've got a proper chip on your shoulder.
It's quite good. We've got two Misty's quite a androgynous name as well, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
What? Who's Misty?
Me, you prick.
Ryan.
Oh yeah, Misty. What?
Your
Misty
Bedfellow
or whatever.
Is that your name?
No, you can't name my cat. I like that a lot though. I'm playing with it. I like Gene Redstone. Because it's like he's sort of a bit archaic. He's a bit sort of. Gore is his nickname. Like Gore.
That's what he got called on the force, wasn't it? Because that's what they.
Because one time, like in training, he gored like another cadet or something, or when they were trying to get a mob boss in, he gored him to death instead of like taking him for questioning. Maybe that's what got him off the force.
Or maybe he tripped over and gored one. It wasn't even on purpose.
All right, I have to remember this isn't Sixsmith. I don't have to make a character I care about. If he's an idiot, then it's fine.
And I guarantee you, the more you play into it, the more you're gonna love him.
You're right.
You're right.
You watched Ali G in the house when he falls over and pulls the Queen's pants down. It's like that kind of thing. Like not that, but
when he falls and does the dance to try and get back up again.
You should be like afraid of banana skins because you slipped on one once.
All right, what did you say my character should be? Maybe I should just lean into him being a joke, and then I'll remember that he's not serious.
The thing is that if you play,
Brad just said he fainted on parade and gored the guy in front of him.
Like that.
That's so awful. And the guy in front of him was like the class favorite. Like everybody loved this guy. He was like
tore
the
his
Joker and
hamstring
everyone.
or something, like ruined him forever.
And he's like a character, like a fawn or something, whose legs are really important to them and stuff. And I just fucked them up completely. So then I can go and visit them, right, in like a retirement home or something.
Yes.
And like, all right, something like that, Brad. Yeah, I like it.
If you, yeah, I think
This,
if we
Gore is
phase
definitely his
lighter,
nickname for
Gore is
sure.
I love it.
I just like Redstone Detective Agency.
Go with
I
it.
sort of like that. Sort of sounds good, doesn't it?
Just like
Gore
Minecraft.
Redstone. No, yeah, but like they don't
No,
have
I'm
the
kidding, I'm
license
kidding.
on stones that of a particular color, do they? But
No, but Redstone is what makes everything work autonomously. So there you go.
what did you call it? Butch Gorstein. Oh no,
Bruce Gorstein.
Bruce Gorstein. It's just I can't pick because all variations are equally
Instead of Bruce
stupid.
Springsteen.
Yeah. Bruce Gorstein.
That's his dad.
Bryce Gorstein. Just change it ever so slightly.
Look,
It's
whatever
like
the best one is,
Happy
it will be his
John.
dad's name. All right, yeah. All right. Oh, I'm liking this. I'm looking forward to this.
I haven't gone for a last name. I'm just gonna call one name, like
Misty.
Madonna.
Misty.
Like Madonna, or as we
Right then.
discovered in games, Logan.
Logan.
Yeah.
It's a game
known by
jockeys.
one name, just one name.
They're the best.
Misty.
Okay,
Well, look,
all right.
I'm excited.
That's good. That sounds a lot of
Probably
fun.
will be plus half a 1
Mhm.
next week when we start. So my apologies in advance on the stream if I have to keep popping on and off, but it'll make it more fun. It'll be like my halflings just disappeared into the shadows.
Yeah, we'll go every time
fuck
you
this.
go. Every time you go, you'll have disappeared from the scene,
Yeah.
and we'll stop everything that we're doing and just be like,
Where
"Where's?"
the fuck's he gone? Where's he gone?
Oh, so Brad. I mean, we can do admin later, but Brad has to let us know where he wants to create the characters. I suppose you want to use the Erin well.
No.
He's got
He's
his own,
he's
isn't he?
already sent a link to Descendants
Oh.
of Avernus. So we've got all that sorted
I'm
out.
surprised I don't have it on my thing.
So yeah, I think we're all good. I think we'll step properly into this world next week, and then I'm away. But then after that,
Well, we'll have
We'll see how it
hopefully
goes.
we'll have Joffrey next week,
Uh-huh.
and at least for the 3 weeks after. So Brad was saying this is a good one for people to be able to.
Yeah,
keep
that's what we
dropping in
said.
and out.
we were saying
Oh,
as well
good.
that maybe worth having like a fifth character, like a tag-along character. People can just jump in and play,
Mhm.
like Joffrey's character of Azeroth the
Azeroth the
Unhinged, the
Unloved.
Hinged, and the Defiler.
I forgot
or
about
the-
Azeroth the Hinged. That's so funny. That's still making me chuckle.
Should be good.
Yeah. All right.
All
Good
right,
fun.
Thanks,
Well,
for,
thanks, Bradley,
putting
for
up
your
with the
work
tech
as well.
issues at the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thanks OBS for that. Making
Yeah.
me look like an idiot.
There's got to be an easier way to do it than this. I know Brad makes it
Yeah,
look
no,
easy
it
every
is.
time he did it.
It's called Leave It to Brad. That's what it is.
No, but that's what I mean.
Brad
He made
can't-
it look
is Brad
easy.
running the game and streaming. That's extraordinary.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
I'll
hopefully
do-
it will be
Is
a
his computer going to explode?
I'm doing all
Nah, it's
the
got a good
Twitch
one.
mod stuff, so
Okay.
anything goes basically now. All those
And I-
all those Johnny lovers, where are you now? Huh?
that was
fun,
that
it's not
was
fun
odd.
to wind up someone that's not on stream, is it?
Yeah. They did turn up for like a good 4 or 5 weeks before they realised he wasn't, coming back shortly. Like they really put their time and work in. But then when you're a kid, you have bugger all else to do you?
No.
You're just you're actually
Should be
fairly
doing their
lonely.
homework, shouldn't they? Revising for
Yeah.
exams.
But instead, they were watching Blood and Song every Monday, 8 p.m.
Now,
Twitch.tv
bloody
//
Brimstone.
Now
Total
Blood
Win.
and Brimstone.
Now Blood and Brimstone. What a great way to end. Bye.
Bye.
No, this is good.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. See you on Monday. See you next
See you
Monday
next
for the
week.
first session.
I'm
First
just gonna
episode.
wave until Dan turns it off.
Honestly, I can turn it off at any point, but I'm not because it's funny.
This is my Sonic
I keep